Hello everybody, welcome to this session on GST. Today we will learn about GST practitioners under GST. In the current indirect tax regime, there are accounting and tax professionals who are authorized to file returns on behalf of taxable persons and represent them in assessments and appeals. Currently, this role is performed by chartered accountants, sales tax practitioners, and advocates. The GST law seeks to formalize this association between a taxpayer and the return preparer and make the three-way association between a taxpayer, a tax return preparer, and GSTN transparent. Let us understand who a GST practitioner is under GST. A GST practitioner is a person approved by the central or state government to perform any or all of the prescribed activities on behalf of a taxable person. Let us now see the prescribed activities that a GSTP can perform. A GST practitioner can file an application for amendment or cancellation of registration on behalf of a taxable person. Furnish the details of outward and inward supplies in Form GSTR 1 and Form GSTR 2. Furnish monthly returns applicable to all regular dealers, quarterly returns which are applicable for composition dealers, annual return which is to be filed by all registered dealers by 31st December of the next financial year, or final return which is to be filed by persons whose registration has been surrendered or cancelled. The final return must be furnished within 3 months of cancellation of registration. Make payments for credit into the electronic cash ledger, that is, payments for tax, interest, penalty, fees or any other amount, and file a claim for refund. Let us now see who is eligible for becoming a GST practitioner under GST. These are the conditions to be satisfied for a person to become a GSTP. The person should be a citizen of India, must be a person of sound mind, should not be declared as insolvent, must not have been convicted for an offence by a competent court, and meets the required education and work experience criteria, which are: should be a retired officer of the Commercial Tax Department of any state government or of the Central Board of Excise and Customs, Department of Revenue, Government of India, having worked in a post not lower in rank than of a Group B gazetted officer for a period not less than 2 years, or has been enrolled as a sales tax practitioner or tax return preparer in the current regime for more than 5 years, or has passed a graduate or postgraduate degree or its equivalent examination having a degree in commerce, law, banking, including higher auditing, or business administration or business management from any Indian university established by any law for the time being in force, or a degree examination of any foreign university recognized by any Indian university as equivalent to the degree examination mentioned earlier, or any other examination notified by the government for this purpose, or has passed any of the following examinations: final examination of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, or final examination of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, or the final examination of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Let us now see the forms pertaining to a GST practitioner. A person who meets the eligibility criteria for becoming a GSTP can apply for enrollment using Form GST PCT 1. The application filed by the person will be verified, and if the details are found to be satisfactory, Form GST PCT 2, which is the certificate for enrollment as a GSTP, will be issued to the person by an authorized officer. Form GST PCT 3 is a show cause notice issued to a GSTP for misconduct. If an officer is satisfied that a GSTP is guilty of misconduct, the officer will issue an order of disqualification in Form GST PCT 4. A taxable person can authorize a GSTP to perform the activities we had discussed earlier on behalf of the person using Form GST PCT 5. The same form can be used by the person to withdraw the authorization given to a GSTP. So, a taxable person can authorize a GSTP to file his or her returns. Once authorized, the GSTP prepares and furnishes the statement, which has to be confirmed by the taxable person. Let us now see the process for this. A taxable person can authorize a GSTP using Form GST PCT 5 to prepare any or all of the prescribed statements which we had seen earlier. Once authorized, the GSTP should prepare the required statements and affix his digital signature on the statements prepared by him, or electronically verify the same using his credentials. Once a statement is furnished by a GSTP, a confirmation will be sought from the taxable person via email or SMS. The statement furnished by the GSTP will also be made available to the taxable person on the GST portal. The taxable person must ensure that the statement being submitted is true and correct. An important point to keep in mind is that the responsibility for correctness of any particulars in the statement filed by a GSTP will continue to rest with the taxable person. Once the statement submitted is verified, the taxable person must confirm the statement. If the taxable person does not respond to the request for confirmation till the due date for submitting the statement, it will be considered as confirmed by the taxable person. Today, we have seen who is a GST practitioner under GST, who can become a GST practitioner, the forms pertaining to a GST practitioner, and the process for filing of returns by a GST practitioner. To learn more on GST, you can visit our blog blogs.tallysolutions.com. You can also download our app Tally for GST from the Play Store. Thank you.